What if your belief was determining which version of Earth you are living in? Do you believe that you are powerful enough to choose the version of Earth that you prefer here and now and live in it here and now without dismantling government systems, religious systems, financial systems, corporate systems? Do you believe that you are powerful enough to choose the version of Earth that you prefer here and now? Because guess what? Your beliefs determine everything that's coming back to you, that's reflected back to you. And you know this because you've done this before with your finances, with your romantic partners, with your business, with your home, with your whatever it is, romance, with your physical body. You have realized that you have a limiting belief and you've changed it and you have seen results. You may have believed that you couldn't have the body you wanted because you have a different metabolism. And so you can't be the shape and size you want. Everybody else can, but not you. And then you wake up one day and you realize, or you're coached through, this is a limiting belief, and then next thing you know, you're finding things that support a new belief. You're getting new awarenesses, new insights. Next thing you know, you're living in the body that you prefer, or at least closer in alignment. So you've done this in your physical world, in your personal physical world, and now you're looking at the external world and you're saying, but I have no control over that. And this is a belief that is very interesting to take a look at, because guess what? We are all multidimensional beings of light. We're learning this from quantum physics, that we are these photons of light that are focused into physical reality. All of us are made up of light. And that means we have quantum physics properties that determine our reality. It is the nature of reality that there are these wave functions. Everything is frequency. And then there is a moment of choice of how it gets measured, which is essentially frequency based. And we focus ourselves right into physical reality on that frequency. And sometimes we do it out of a habit loop and where it's not intentional, and we just wake up grumpy every day. So we wake up grumpy the next day. And then what do we get from the world? We get grumpy stuff, and we get grumpy people, and we get grumpy things happening. And when we're intentional and maybe we choose a different frequency, maybe we decide we want to experience love and we want to experience connection and we want to experience well-being, then that is what's reflected to us. So our belief system determines what kinds of ideas come to us, what kind of thoughts come to us. And so everything exists, every potential exists. You are multidimensional, you exist on so many different channels all at once. And guess what? So does everybody else, including the Earth. The Earth has all of its frequencies as well. So if you are in your grumpy frequency, you might experience a lot of grumpy people around you, or vice versa. If you are in that, I feel like the most blessed person on the face of the planet, you're going to run into people that feel like they're the most blessed person on the face of the planet. So you're choosing that frequency, and reality is filling in around you. And quantum physics is showing us that this is the nature of reality. And we're seeing how frequency is the infinite intelligence of nature. Guess what? Is one of the most healing things on the planet when you're really tuned into the frequency of well-being, which is the natural state. Your natural state is well-being. Your natural state is prosperity. It's us getting in the way and believing that's not true that is actually the thing that holds it away from us. So nature is well-being. Nature is balance. It will return to balance as we allow it to. And so are you willing to allow yourself to see the well-being not only in yourself, but in this beautiful planet that we exist on? So there's lots of limiting beliefs you might be running up against with this earth, especially if you believe in the ideas of sustainability and regeneration and the idea of climate change. You're going to be running up against a lot of limiting beliefs in this process. And how do you know what a limiting belief is? Well, if you have determined something that you know to be true about this earth, that is a limiting belief because it limits what you're willing to see. And so we, as humans, we only see 0.002% of the electromagnetic spectrum, and we only hear between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And so there is about 99% of reality that you're not experiencing with your typical senses. However, it is a part of infinite intelligence and infinite well-being of this universe. And so if you collapse all of that into one knowing, into saying we are out of balance, into saying we are cancer on this planet, into saying corporate greed has gotten us into this mess, if you say it's never going to change, whatever that limiting belief is about this planet, you're just going to see it again and again and again coming to the surface. Now, it's not to say that we're not going to be doing things. I'll get to that in a minute. But here's what it does mean. So I'm with you on we are an earth out of balance. However, that definition of what that balance is, I think is skewed, where we think we have a carbon problem, or we have a, like different measures of things that are on the earth. And if we could just balance those out, we could get back to this earth that's perfect. Do you see how that idea of a perfect earth is hurting what we believe is possible? So if you believe there is a balance point, a sustainable point, guess what? The earth is rotating, spinning through the universe, cycling, but on this trajectory that is not linear. It is spiraling through the universe. It is evolving, it is changing, it's growing, it's transforming, just like you and me. So if you think about your lifetime and who you were as a baby and who you were as a teen and who you were as an adult, this is the earth going through major changes. And if we believe that we think that the earth should be the same, that's just like saying you need to always be the same. That's like saying, you know what, you were perfect when you were 33 years old and nothing can ever change. That was it, nothing else. Nope, no growth, no transformation, no extra things for you. That's it, that's all you got. So that's what we're saying about the earth when we talk about sustainability, is trying to get to like a place of this false idea of metrics, measuring things that don't actually talk about balance. Let's talk about what true balance is. So a life in balance is honoring life, is honoring all life, is honoring the authenticity of all life that's here. Every person on this planet, every animal on this planet, every reptile on this planet, every speck of water on this planet, every drop of sand on this planet, honoring all of it and allowing it to be this multidimensional version that can show up in its most beautiful form for you. That is your choice, because balance is within you. If you find yourself out of balance, if you find yourself angry at a system, if you find yourself pushing against an external force, that external force is just going to push right back on you, that's not balance. That's fighting. So if you have fight inside of you, you're going to find more fight. If you think it's going to be an uphill battle, it's going to be an uphill battle. If you believe it's going to be hard, it's going to be hard. So these belief systems are really the systems that are falling apart. And what's happening is, as more and more people are awakening to their power and saying, you know what, I have the ability to tap into all that is, my infinite intelligence, to tap into the future, to tap into the past, to tap into extra dimensional beings, to tap into, with my telepathy, other people, animals, whatever it is, the infinite intelligence that's here, that 99% of reality that we can't see, touch, or taste, but that we know is there because we get these intuitive hits. If we as people say, I have the power to own my frequency of where I'm coming in and what I would like to see, what happens is those systems start to collapse because the people that were supporting those systems are no longer looking at them. They are looking at love. They are looking at connection. They're looking at balance. And so the systems are falling apart because the collective belief is falling apart. So now, what do? So now you find yourself waking up in the morning, you love this planet, you've been in the sustainability field, you've been in the climate work field, you've been in regeneration, and you say, but Stacy, isn't the whole purpose to regenerate, to rebalance, to reharmonize this whole planet? And isn't regeneration the thing? And shouldn't I be going out there and beating the drum of regeneration? Well, guess what? Whether or not you choose that or not to go do, it's already happening, because that's the very essence of nature, is that it regenerates itself billions of times per second. And it only matters that you are in alignment with that or you are not, and where are you placing your focus. So another way to go is to say, okay, every choice is valid. This is where you really learn to accept yourself and love yourself. Every choice is valid. I know that my beliefs were not serving me, and I love and honor that version of myself, and I'm closing that chapter. And I know that there's going to be other people in my world that are going to reflect it back to me still. Even when I decide that things are different, other people are still going to reflect back some of these ideas, and I am going to know for myself the power of my choice. And so I'm going to choose love. I'm going to choose connection. I'm going to choose harmony. I'm going to choose balance. And what happens is, it's not like you're just going to sit around and be like, oh, and you're not going to do that. That's not what's going to happen. But as you wake up every morning and you choose peace for yourself, and you choose your authentic self, which is natural well-being, and you decide to go outside and ground in the morning and put your bare feet on the ground, back up against a tree for 20 minutes and talk to the tree. And you're going to do whatever it takes that's for you. You're going to dance under the sun. You're going to go swimming vigorously to work, like a workout, like hard, I'm just going to swim really, really fast in the water. Whatever it is that connects you to your natural, authentic well-being, and listen, and just listen. And you're going to hear different inspiration. You're going to have to ignore what is going on around you, and you're going to hear different inspiration, and it might look funny at first. And the little intuitive nudges that push you could turn into multi-billion-dollar businesses. They could turn into major changes in the government system. They could go in every different direction, but that's not the attachment you start with. The place you're starting is choosing your natural well-being, finding peace inside of you, so that when you look at the external world, you no longer see a fight. You see all of those choices are absolutely valid. Everything everybody is saying, absolutely valid. They can believe that. And everybody has their own choice and their own path. And I am going to choose love. I'm going to choose kindness. I'm going to choose compassion. I'm going to choose honoring. And so you might find over time that your actions are going to shift a little bit, and your business is going to shift, and the people you work with are going to shift. And it's an exciting time to be on this planet, because we are going through a grand change. Tons of systems falling apart, new awarenesses that we are working with infinite intelligence on so many levels. The telepathy tapes talking about how we are able to communicate without speech, the communicating with all that is the infinite intelligence, but one-on-one communicating. And with the animals, to find out how to honor them on this planet. What if we can ask the whales what they want for this planet and how we can work with them? And I do that. And then you may start to become aware that the government is releasing all of their communication with extraterrestrial life. And you might start to realize that we're working on a galactic scale with so many beings. And you might see other versions of Earth that you did not see before. You might see innovation like you've never seen. You might see things like free energy. You might see things like food abundance for everybody on the planet. You might see pristine water for everybody. You might see a completely different version of Earth and how you fit authentically into that equation, doing what comes naturally to you. And I will tell you, it is tricky, because if you have some limiting beliefs in there, how money fixes everything, which has been the going idea in Western culture. Oh, we have a problem. Oh, we have a nature out of balance. Well, we just need to funnel a bunch of money that direction and that's going to solve everything. We have a lot of interesting limiting beliefs about this. And not to say that cash can't flow into opportunities and innovation that works in partnership with nature, but the way in which we believe it to be happening and the way that we believe it to be true is very powerful and very telling. And if we're coming out of the industrial era where we believe in work, hard work, if you logically go from A to B to C to D to E, that you will get F. That this kind of logical idea of manufacture and industry is not how nature actually works. Nature is quantum, nature is not linear, nature is not rational. And so you can have major quantum shifts, quantum leaps of everything that you believe is possible, and you can experience a complete shift and a different version of Earth. And so depending on your belief system. So I'll end with the same question I had at the start. What if your belief is determining the version of Earth that you are on here and now? And after listening to this video, do you believe that you are powerful enough to elicit the version of Earth that you prefer and to live in it here and now? Do you believe that you are that powerful to find that level of peace inside? That means that everything that you see around you is honoring of that life, honoring of the balance that's here for us. Go ahead and post any questions in the comments. I am sure that there are some really fun questions around this one. And I host Quantum Leaps. And if you have a belief about the climate change work, about sustainability, about regeneration, I highly recommend you check out my Quantum Leap program.